Hey, Rick here. I want to share with you a conversation I had just earlier today. It's about a question that was posed to me about the executive coaching, leadership development, change management, all the things that we do, right? Management coaching, organization development stuff. And they were asking, so you talk about all these conceptual, philosophical things, and you never tell us how to do it. And I said, yeah, because that's not what I do when I do these videos. I talk about the nuance, the space in between, the space in between the action of requesting, acting, doing, and the consequence or the impact of what you say and what you request and what you're doing. That nuance, that space is where trust is born, meaning that when you engage another person to manage and drive your business, to motivate people, to inspire people to want to follow you, to influence them with positive intent through conscious leadership, right? Being meaningfully disruptive, right? You have to pay attention. And so I said, in my work, I'm talking to great people. That's my assumption. I work with great people just like you, right? And I have the opportunity to share what I learn from others just like you. And what's missing is not the concept, not the degree, not how much money people make, but it's paying attention to the nuance in between because that nuance connects the different points between telling and receiving, asking and impact, right? So there's a resonance, your presence, your ability to impact other people by talking about the condition, the situation, meaning you expand it by giving it legs, meaning, once again, that in that conversation, in that relationship, the nuance in between the space in between what you're saying and doing or requesting and receiving is a conversation that celebrates building positive momentum, something that you want to promote, expand, and or once again acknowledge as a celebration. Does that make sense? Think about that. That's the nuance. People don't pay attention to that. Yes, they have all these titles, and we're talking about great people once again, but the key here is the connection. We use language like connections, like nuance, like synergy, like authenticity, right? Talk about the success, memorialize it, expand it. If you want to keep something, give it away. You've heard me say that before, right? What does that mean? When you give it away, you expand it because those outside of you will talk about it, express it in different ways. It reflects what you talked about. You, the initiator, are transforming culture by promoting positive information, positive strategies, or solutions, or things that you want to be expanded or explored within your environment, wherever you are. And notice I talk in generalities, right? Because I'm talking to so many different people. But the essence of today, as confusing as it may be to you, pay attention to the nuance, the space in between where trust is built. Talk about the success, the ability to collaborate, to build trust, and to acknowledge that moment that builds and transforms culture. That's where it happens. That's what people are missing. They have the knowledge, they have the intellect, they read the books, they have the degree, they don't have the essence and the spirit of nuance. That's why I talk about this. So if you want to keep something, give it away. Then you expand, you elevate, right? And you contribute to organization development and growth and all the things that you aspire to. And it applies also to your relationships, your integrity, your ability to influence, your authenticity, and ultimately your personal brand and credibility. Think about that. See you next time.